야구를 배우는 영어.
All about MLB.
Hello and welcome to our MLB English Talk. My name is Angela Park.
And my name is Thomas.
Okay, so for today, getting some more nitty-gritty details of baseball. We have our topic, and a lot of people wondering, what are we going to be talking about for this session? Well, let me tell you. It's going to be about the bigger picture. So, MLB League and Teams is the title. 네, 오늘의 레슨은요. 내셔널 리그는 뭐고 아메리칸 리그는 뭐야? 차이가 있긴 있습니다. So we'll be talking about the differences and different aspects of the leagues and kind of how these leagues run to make up this sport. Now, I have a question for you, Thomas.
Okay.
So when it comes to these leagues and whatnot, obviously, you know, we have different teams and teams that do better than others. We're not going to give it away yet, but there are iconic teams that really shine above the rest.
Yeah, I think there's some teams that are very well known, and there's other teams that are definitely not well known at all.
Okay, well then, if you don't mind, will you give us a summary of the column on this topic?
I sure will. The first thing that we're going to be talking about today is divisions, okay? Different divisions. Second, we're going to talk about different kinds of series that you can have. A best of 3, a best of 5, or a best of 7 series.
All right, so National League and American League, we're going to be jumping right into our Q&A. Now, the first question I have, this really stands out because there's all these American teams and there's just one Canadian team, right?
That's right, yeah.
It's just that one. I'm not mistaken,
it's just
right?
the Toronto Blue Jays.
Now, are there rules where they're keeping it strictly for American teams, or why aren't other Canadian teams joining?
I believe, and I'm not even perfectly sure about this, most of the teams want to be in a very big market. They want to be in LA. They want to be in New York. Chicago has 2 teams. New York has 2 teams. LA has 2 teams. They don't really want to be in a city that's small, whether it's an American city or a Canadian city. And typically Canadians like hockey more than baseball.
It's like you have to like it to be
Exactly.
I don't know, a true Canadian. They joke about it, right? Okay, so there we go. It's just that one Blue Jay team that kind of shines, I'm going to say, in that sense. But when it comes to the league, it's different from Korean baseball in terms of the number of games played.
Right. In Korea, I think there's 128 games played, but in the major leagues, there's 162 games that are played.
That's a significant difference.
Yeah, it's a pretty big amount, but the players make a lot more in America, so they're expected to work a little bit more.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the money. All right. So it's a significant difference that a lot of Korean baseball fans will see. So the season is longer then. Does that mean you get to enjoy more baseball in the year?
Oh, you can always enjoy more baseball. Right.
Spoken like a true baseball fan, right? Now, the next question I have for you is, there's a system, obviously, the best team comes out on top. Now, there's a few teams that typically come out on top a little bit more often.
Yeah, typically those are the teams, like you said, it all comes down to money. The teams that are sometimes the richest teams tend to do very well. And I guess one of the most popular teams is the New York Yankees. Even though the New York Mets are in New York also,
right,
we always hear about the Yankees. The Yankees owner, he's very, very rich, and he does not care about spending money. And he likes to go out and buy the best players, which is understandable, and sometimes they do very well. Sometimes he spends a lot of money and they don't do very well. But overall, in the history of MLB, probably the Yankees are the one team that is the most popular and has actually won more World Series titles than anybody.
Well, what about, aside from the Yankees, I think even people who are almost completely in the dark about baseball, they can at least mention New York Yankees as a team.
I would think so, and even their baseball caps.
The logo is very popular.
Right, the logo is very popular almost anywhere in the world. They know that logo.
Yeah. So aside from them, what other teams typically have done well in the past?
I think in the past, you could say the St. Louis Cardinals have done very well. I think they've had 11 or 12 World Series wins. The Dodgers have always been a team that they haven't done very well recently.
Okay.
In the last 20 years or so. But in the past, they've been one of the very big teams because they've been in one of America's biggest TV markets. They were always on TV. Therefore, everybody knew the Dodgers. Everybody knew the Yankees.
I think everyone in Korea knows the Dodgers
Everybody.
now, right?
Now and before, yeah.
That's true, that's true. Okay, so we had some iconic team names that Thomas mentioned for us. So there we go, we have the system. This pretty much determines how the game, the sport of baseball is run.
Right.
The leagues, the teams in the leagues, and how they go off playing against each other, right? Now we had some key expressions pop up. You ready to go ahead and
I'm ready.
help me explain them?
Okay.
First one.
First one is divisions.
Right. Now how many were there again?
There's 2 divisions.
All right. So I have an example sentence for you. Each league is divided into 3 divisions.
Okay, 2 leagues. Each league has 3 divisions.
There we go.
I'm never good in mathematics.
It's okay, I'm just reading here. The East, Central, and West Division. That's an example of the word division. Now, division, of course, we see the keyword divide, right? 뭔가 이렇게 갈라낼 때도 divide. Even in math, we say multiplication, addition, subtraction, and
division.
Right. So here we're using it as a noun, as, of course, a different section of baseball. Now, the second word, though.
The second one is best of. So here we have best of 7 or best of 7 games.
Best of 7 games. And when you just look at that, it could almost even sound like out of 7 teams or players, right?
It could. Yeah.
But in this context of baseball, we know it's out of games. For example, finally, the winners of the American and National League Championship Series will go on to the World Series, which is a best of 7 game series. Now, if I wanted to compare people, I could say the best of, 2 here through a game of arm wrestling. Whoever won that would be the best of 2 here, right?
Right. But if we had a few more people and some of them were a lot stronger than us, they would win the best of 5, the best of 7 people.
That's right. So it could refer to people or it could refer to the number of games or rounds, right? But in this context of baseball, we're talking games because that's what determines the winner.
Correct.
All right, so divisions and best of 7, those were our 2 key expressions for today. Always, it just flies by with you, Thomas.
I know. I know. Well, we'll be back, though.
That's right. That's going to do it for us today for our session of MLB English Talk.
MLB broadcasting terms. Rod hits a comebacker back to Carpenter for another base hit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to MLB Broadcasting Terms. Today, we have a word that there really is no word for this in Korean, at least not an exact word for it. And today's word is comebacker. Comebacker. Okay? So a comebacker is a pitch that is thrown, and when the ball is hit, it comes back and either hits the pitcher or almost hits the pitcher. It's very, very close to him. Okay? That is called a comebacker. And sometimes comebackers can be very dangerous, especially after the pitcher throws the ball and goes down. When he comes back up, if it's a comebacker, it hits him right in the head. Comebacker. Let's look at a sentence. A-Rod hits a comebacker back to Carpenter, the pitcher, for another base hit. So in this situation, Carpenter threw the ball, A-Rod hit the ball. It probably did not hit the pitcher, but it came back so quickly, the pitcher could not catch it quickly, and it went by him. A-Rod got a base hit. So that is a comebacker. If you see a play like that, usually the pitcher goes very fast, but he misses the ball. If he catches the ball, we can still say comebacker, but most of the time, a comebacker goes right back behind the pitcher.
Baseball words in everyday English. Ballpark.
Hello and welcome to MLB Baseball Words in Everyday English. 네, 바로 Everyday English, 일상 속 야구 영어죠. So we have an expression for this session. It's ballpark. 네, 오늘의 표현은요. ballpark, 볼파크가 되겠습니다. 일단 발음 연습 좀 해볼까요? ballpark, right? In Korean we say 볼파크, but ballpark. Ballpark, approximately or within a range. 일단 이 단어 approximately가 대략이라는 뜻인데요. 특정 범위의 근처 또는 그 안에 있을 때 in the ballpark of 뭐뭐뭐라고 표현하실 수 있어요. 예문이 준비되어 있습니다. I'm not sure how much it costs, but it is in the ballpark of $500 to $600. 이게 범위죠. 정해진 범위가 500불, 600불 사이인데요. 그러니까 우리말로 얼마인지 확실하지는 않지만 대략 500불부터 600불 정도야. 가 되겠는데요. 대략 $500 to $600, 500불, 600불 사이. 그러니까 뭔가 그 사이에 들어가 있으면 in the ballpark of my budget 이렇게 표현하실 수 있겠죠. So one more time, you have to remember in the ballpark, on the ballpark 아니고요. 일단 야구장 볼파크로 들어가는 거잖아요. 안으로 들어가는 거니까 in the ballpark of 꼭 기억해 주시기 바랍니다. So one more time, I'm not sure how much it costs, but it is in the ballpark of $500 to $600. So here's a hint for you. 힌트 드리자면요. 일단 패턴부터 외우시기 바랍니다. A is in the ballpark of B. B가 어떤 범위가 되겠고요. 어떤 range가 되겠습니다. 그러면 A is of course our subject, 주어가 되겠고요. 그러면 A is in the ballpark of B, which is going to be our range. So that is the expression for our baseball words in everyday English. Ballpark. And don't forget that the next time you want to sound like a savvy English speaker.